thank you for joining us. And we begin from our City Center studios, where we join our senior reporter Murimi Mwangi for the political diary this morning. Good morning, Murimi. Good to speak to you. What do you expect from the political desk, and what are some of the stories that you're perhaps following up on today?
Good morning, George. Just a day after the 4th anniversary of the handshake, the truce between President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, a series of events whose message is expected to be anchored on that historic event on the 8th of March 2018. We have the Azimio La Umoja team touring Wajir today. They have a function there, and they're being hosted by the Jubilee Coalition Joint Parliamentary Group Secretary Adan Kainan, that being his home turf. And there we expect, of course, a message of the inclusion of the presumably marginalized groups in the Azimio La Umoja movement. Remember, that's a movement that in terms of that region is anchored on the membership of select members from that region in the ruling Jubilee party, as well as the UPIA political party allied to Treasury CS Ukur Yatani, and therefore lots of discussions expected there. As the Kenya Kwanza team continues their coastal tour, they will be in Tana River and Lamu counties today, selling their bottom-up economic model, and of course keeping the fire burning in the absentia of Deputy President William Ruto, who has been on his tour of the US and the UK, where he too has been selling his candidature to Kenyans in the diaspora as he gives lectures to select groups abroad. Beyond that, of course, there's also the manifesto launch by the KANU party today, specifically by KANU National Chairman Gideon Moi, who just yesterday, speaking in Samburu, hinted that the party would be making its way to Azimio La Umoja, and of course that hinting at what has been the ongoing discussion in terms of the the concurrence between the One Kenya Alliance joining the Azimio La Umoja team, and there have been discussions, particularly after the fresh list of demands from Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka on his precondition to supporting Raila's 5th presidential bid, and that of course is expected to emerge today when the KANU party launches its manifesto. We expect, of course, some sort of direction from the party leadership on what next for them, particularly after that pronouncement by the KANU chairman yesterday that the party subscribes to similar ideologies to those of the Azimio La Umoja. George.
Murimi, before I let you go, talking about Azimio, we did see that a few days ago, and in the weeks preceding that, Meru Governor Kirito Murungi had said that he will announce the political direction that will guide the Meru people. And yesterday he did join Azimio La Umoja, and of course was received by ODM leader Raila Odinga. What do you make from all this, and what are some of the intrigues that you expect perhaps from the Mount Kenya East region?
Well, that was a very significant decision from the Meru governor. Remember, there have been discussions about likelihood of divergence of political views between Mount Kenya East and, the central Kenya region, both of which have been traditionally known to vote in a similar pattern in past recent elections, and therefore the entry, of course, appears to could to some extent have been persuaded by sentiments made by President Uhuru Kenyatta when he hosted the Mount Kenya leadership in Sagana, and he specifically spoke about the emergent small parties in his backyard, and he said it was not his intention as the Jubilee party leader to swallow up these emergent small parties, as his agenda is the unity of the region, and of course that unity, catapulting the Azimio La Umoja movement into the next government, and therefore he comes in with the bargaining rights of having a separate party from the region, separate from the Jubilee party that will be fielding candidates for select elective seats, as it doesn't have a presidential candidate other than the candidate that will be unveiled by the Azimio La Umoja movement, and therefore a critical step in terms of consolidating the Mount Kenya support base behind the Azimio La Umoja. George.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Murimi Mwangi, a senior reporter joining us from our city center studios. And from the capital, let's cross over to Nyeri County and speak to Clement Masombo. Clement, good morning.